mi gente, con una pasión.
You're listening to the Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings.
Welcome to TSP, your award-winning podcast. We can say that now. I'm your host, Sensei Phil. With me is Charlie and Finn. Lads, a silver award, very unexpected, in the non-league Bible Awards, best non-league podcast. Amazing. Charlie, happy with that?
Yeah, can't be any more happier, can we? I think, like I said before on a little video we put out, I said we was up against some really good established podcasts and content creators that have, been in the game a lot longer than what we have. I mean, we was happy, weren't we, just to have even been mentioned and nominated, and to have picked up a second place is, we can't say thank you enough. It's really proud moment. So
Finn?
Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, that's brilliant, and kind of to be in with so many established podcasts, been going a lot longer than us, probably put a lot more time and stuff, and so to be kind of in with them is amazing. And I think probably why we've managed to get to that level is probably just because it's so authentic, and we just it's just like three mates having a chat most of the time, and obviously Katie
just
as well.
Blagging it, haven't we, basically?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just nice to get recognised for it, to be honest. I don't think any of us would have expected that kind of level of recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you all to everyone who did vote for us. We really do appreciate it. And congrats to Same Old City, who finished in first place, who's full of York. Good news is they'll be gone next year, so they won't be in the running. So maybe we'll have a chance first. Who knows? We'll see. But someone who did get it first was Pip for his diversity channel. That's the best non-league YouTuber. Well done, Pip. Amazing channel. Deserves all the success he gets. I know he's put so much work into that last few years. So, brilliant for Pip, Charlie.
Yeah, really well deserved. Like you say, he's up and down, isn't he? Home and away, up and down the country. It's very rare he misses a game. It's great to see that he's been acknowledged, and rightfully so. And it's just good for Southend, isn't it, to get a bit of coverage and, sort of shine the light on the club. Like you say, there's various different creators out there. We all sort of supply something a little bit different, I think, don't we? And I think that's why, it really catches people's attention.
Yeah, well, we're going to get on to some World Cup. Now, we very, very nearly had our, at long last, World Cup striker joining us. But we've had some nightmares, haven't we? He's not very tech savvy, so we're going to try again next time.
There's every chance next time he'll be sat right next to me in my house.
He does exist, yeah. He might turn up at Charlie's house to try and pick people. We've had a right laugh with this, haven't we? But hopefully we'll get him on, because he's a good guy, and he's he's played against England.
We
played against England in the World Cup.
Yeah,
scored 10 times for his country. Yeah. And we will
can't say anything about him, but when he's here, we hope that he'll be great entertainment. If he's anything like how he has been, trying to get him on.
So many questions for him.
He's going to be a great guest.
I think the first one is: did you ever do IT at school? I think the answer to that is no. We know that. But hopefully we'll get him on the next one, and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start off looking at the round of 32. That's been completed. Few surprises there. We're going to start off with Germany, Paraguay. Germany are out. Finn out on pens. Don't know if you saw it. They were awful. And another Arsenal man, Kai Havertz, missed a penalty again.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, I mean, they just looked poor throughout the tournament, I thought. Obviously, they had that one game against Curacao where they scored a lot of goals. But even in that, Curacao brought it back to 1-1. And I just don't think they didn't look like they had any hunger. I mean, it kind of summed up with the penalties where I think it was Goretzka kind of refused to take a penalty, and like their centre-back had to step up and take a penalty. Fair play to him. Obviously, it did go on to miss, but I think the kind of penalties and the reluctance of the top players to go and take a penalty, that kind of summed up their whole campaign. I mean, they just look so poor, and to go out to Paraguay, without no disrespect to Paraguay, they deserve to go through. But it's a really bad tournament for them. I think they were talking about getting Klopp in, which I think would be a good.
Oh, really? Yeah, because Nagelsmann's been fired, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think
I guess Klopp's available.
that's a good sign for them at least. I think he's a top manager. So
Charlie, have you ever known a German team to lose on penalty shootout?
Well, it's not the
First
norm,
time,
is
yeah.
it? It really isn't. Like you say,
Couldn't
it's
see
just
that.
yeah, very unexpected. Like Finn said, it's from the Germans' point of view, it has been an extremely poor tournament. I mean, Paraguay. I mean, if you looked at Paraguay's opening game against the USA, Paraguay very poor. I think I said like I couldn't see them progressing out of the
Yeah.
group. I think I said they'd be very lucky to even get a point. I think in the group stages based on that, but they've managed to get themselves into that final 32, and
Incredible.
obviously now they'll be going on to play France, won't they, in the round 16? So fair play to Paraguay. You can they really have turned up, and but I think the biggest shock is that just Germany just have not performed anywhere near what they're expected, and like you say, to go on penalties is even you would have thought really that you would fancy them. But that's what makes this World Cup a little bit better. I think you've got some, and we'll probably mention a bit further down. Some teams here that ordinarily in the past would never have got into the World Cup. Obviously, with the 48 teams now, it gives those smaller teams, smaller nations, an opportunity. And you've seen it. A few of them have really grabbed it with both hands and really taken it to teams, and it's made for quite an entertaining tournament so far.
I think as well, just one thing as well. I think in the penalty shootout, I mean, it's not like like Paraguay kind of destroyed them. Like, to be honest, Paraguay had like let them in
Yeah.
quite a few times, like with misses where they should
Yeah.
have. I think they've missed quite a few penalties, at least 2 or 3, and it's like Germany just didn't take any of the chances that they had. It was kind of on a plate for them quite a few times to get back in it, and they just didn't. It was mental to see a Germany side like that.
It was good to see though.
Well, we're happy to see them gone. Yeah, absolutely. We've had enough of them for many competitions. Well, one team that we did expect to do well was France. I mean, they are looking so strong, aren't they? They advanced against Sweden 3-0. The Swedes probably not the best side, but yeah, France going forward. My word, they are a handful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk, wasn't there, whether the big players in these teams would perform and step up, and you likes of Mbappe, Kane, Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And they've all, okay, maybe you can make a case for Ronaldo, maybe not so much, but all the others, all hit that ground running. And I think the Golden Boot was won with 6 goals was it last year? 7 goals, I think it might have been. I think that's going to be absolutely smashed this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mbappe's looking
phenomenal,
choice, isn't he? Up top there, and I say
Yeah.
France, they are looking a very very strong team.
They are. Well, South Africa are out. They lost to Canada 1-0. We're keeping an eye on Canada because they're playing Morocco as we speak in the round of 16. That is 0-0 as we speak. But yeah, Canada through. Now, Netherlands lost on penalties to Morocco, who, as I said, the other side playing Canada. Again, Holland were awful on penalties. I think for many people, Holland were a team that could do well in this competition. But yeah, they were really bad on penalties. Finn, did you manage to see that?
Yeah, I caught a bit of it. I mean, their penalties were really bad. But to be honest, I'm not entirely shocked that they lost. I think Morocco probably quite an overlooked side in this tournament. I think every time I've seen them, they just look quality. I mean, they stuck it on Brazil, and any team they faced so far, I thought they looked really good. They got quite a few players in there who maybe aren't the biggest of names, but are putting in top performances. And I think if any African nation can win it for the first time, I think it's probably Morocco, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we will say that our World Cup striker guest did play for an African team. We won't give away which one. And we were hoping to talk to him about the African nations. By the time we get him on, they might all be out. So we'll see. But yeah, Morocco going at the moment, still 0-0. But yeah, I think they're a very good side. And yeah, I agree. I think if an African nation did win it, I did say at the beginning of the series that probably Morocco would be my favourite of those.
I think with France, compared to like Morocco, where teams like Morocco and potentially England in some positions as well are going to struggle this World Cup, is just with depth. I think it's going to be so even more important in recent years, recent World Cups, where with the kind of temperature and the conditions and the altitude and stuff, you've got to have a lot of players to be able to bring off the bench. And I mean, France are just stacked everywhere, and it's like if they need to bring on another left back, they've got about three. You know, if they want to bring on a left winger, they're just completely all over the pitch. And
Yeah, they've got such depth.
yeah, they've got so much depth, and I think that's why France and probably Spain as well, probably they're probably my favourites to win it.
Well, we spoke to the Brazil lads on the first pod. They won 2-1 against Japan. I've been Wimbledon for the week, camping, you know, for the queue. And I think the first day I did was Tuesday, or was it Monday or Tuesday? And when they were playing, and there was a lot of Brazil shirts in that park, funny enough, scattered around. And, you know, I was following it on my phone, and you heard the cheers before it come up on the screen. So they knew. And, you know, that's how I worked out that Brazil had gone through. 2-1. I mean, what a good game that was. Japan are a decent team. Obviously took the lead. I think they were late goals, Charlie, weren't they?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the goals. I mean, Brazil, for me, I don't know. I just feel like Brazil of old used to really excite you, didn't they? And,
Yeah.
You know, they were absolute world-class players. I mean, this tournament, I think anybody that's up against them, I think you would that you would feel like they're beatable.
Yeah, you got a chance.
Now, don't get me wrong, you know, they've still got some absolute world-class players, but they feel like they haven't sort of got into the full swing yet. Now, whether we'll see that later on in the stages, if, you know, they start, you know, going up a notch, you know, they've got a really, really tricky game, haven't they? I think, who is it they've got? Can't remember who it is they've got. Oh, Norway, isn't it?
Norway, yeah.
You know, so they, you know, the Norwegians are a massive team, so that will, you know, physically and stuff in stature. So that'll be a really interesting game to see how that goes. But yeah, Brazil, obviously they managed to squeeze through past Japan. But I think, like I say, I think if any team that comes up against Brazil this tournament will probably maybe not fear them as much as that maybe they have done in previous tournaments.
I think
Yeah,
the
totally
difference
agree.
is with Brazil, like now compared to what they used to be, is like firstly a lot of the teams got a lot older, but I think also before they kind of had quality in every single position, a bit like France now. They had quality all over the pitch, but I think now there's probably 2 or 3 players in their starting lineup who I don't think should even be near a Brazil starting lineup. I think they're really lacking in, I mean, the fullback positions, for example. I don't think they're strong enough. There's quite a few areas in there where it's like you've got a player of Vinicius Junior's quality who is a world class player, and then players who potentially wouldn't even get a Premier League side. So it's a bit unbalanced.
Yeah, I think they're going through a bit of a transition, aren't they, with their squad, really, I think.
I mean, they've got a decent coach, haven't they? But yeah, even the Brazil lads said quarterfinals at best. You know, not quite sure that they're quite ready at the moment.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how far they go.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you mentioned they will play Norway. They advanced past Ivory Coast 2-1. There was some Haaland and Nusa, both players that I picked out early on. Nusa's a very good player.
Yeah.
But let's moving on. Mexico, 2-0 winners against Ecuador. We won't talk about their next opponents. We'll save that to the end. But yeah, player that I picked out very early on, 17-year-old Gilberto Mora. He played a full match in that game, and he looks so good. Have you seen much of him, Charlie?
I'll be honest, not a huge amount. I think a lot of their games have been in the most of them have been in the early hours.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, every now and then you'll get a 10 o'clock or whatever, you can stay up and just get through. But the sort of the 2 o'clock in the mornings have absolutely killed me. I mean, there's been a couple of games where I thought, yeah, I'll try and stay up or set an alarm, and then 10 minutes in, I'm fast asleep. So I've probably not seen as many of the games as I've wanted to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, a very good result, really, for Mexico. Obviously, they're a home nation. They've got that natural advantage. And yeah, as I say, I'm sure we'll talk about their next game a little bit later on in the episode.
Well, coming on to Portugal, they advanced 2-1 versus Croatia. Ronaldo from the spot. And their opponents will be Spain. They've got themselves going. I thought they were a bit slow to start with, weren't they? But yeah, 2 for Ayazabal, was it? And Lamau looked a constant threat, but I think we've got a lot more to come from him yet.
Who's it? Sorry, Spain.
Spain, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't scored yet, has he? But I don't think it'll be long before Mal starts hitting the back of it. I mean, that game, watching Spain against Austria, I'll watch that game. Spain, for me, they carry on like that. They're comfortable winners of this tournament. I thought they were fantastic. Their movement so quick and just opening teams up. And Lamar was he was fantastic for such a young player. He's got a hell of he's going to be a great future ahead of him. There's going to be many tournaments, and I'm sure that he'll be pivotal in Spain's.
He'll pick up a Ballon d'Or or 2, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
He's a fantastic player. But Spain, for me, I think throughout against Austria, I thought they were very, very good. Very good.
Okay, so USA are through. Now, 2-0 against Bosnia. Balogun scored and then got himself sent off, Finn. So that's going to be a big loss for them, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's been, without a doubt, really one of their best players this tournament. I think without him, I'm not really sure where their kind of attacking threat is, to be honest. I think he is a big part of that attacking threat. I did have US going down as they were kind of my dark horses for the tournament. I thought they'd do quite well. Obviously, got home advantage and that. But yeah, I mean, without Balogun, they're going to struggle next time. Who are they against next round?
Belgium.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yeah. Now coming on to Belgium, they had a big comeback, didn't they? Against
they did.
Senegal, 2-0 down, and they come back.
Yeah.
I mean, they've surprised me, Belgium. We did say that they're probably past their best of that golden generation, but they're still there, aren't they?
It's a difficult one because I think Senegal are a really good side. So for them to beat them is an impressive result. I'm still not entirely convinced by Belgium, to be honest. I still think they lack that bit of quality that they've had previously. I think their golden generation's kind of run out now. A lot of them are really old. I would probably still have the US going down as my winners for the next round, which is probably a bit of a hot take, but I think they edge it out over Belgium.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, I think.
Well, talking about old, the next game had a player that maybe is a bit on the old side. Argentina v Cape Verde. I don't know if you saw it. What a game. 3-2 in the end after extra time. Their keeper, 40-year-old Vozinho, apparently now, I mean, he's been a massive feature for them this World Cup. He's now apparently got 20 million followers on Instagram. That's nuts. I mean, they've been brilliant, haven't they? Yeah.
This is what I was saying about earlier on about some of the lesser nations. I say lesser, they're not even lesser, smaller nations. It's given them an opportunity, a way in to take part in a World Cup, and there you can see that is a nation. What is it? 500,000 is it? Like their population, and they're just fearless. And they're up against Argentina, current world champions, and I mean their goals.
Oh, the equaliser.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's game of the tournament so far, I think. I ended up watching it yesterday, and it was so exciting game, and I was just gutted it didn't get to penalties.
Yeah.
Because that would have been such an interesting, see how it panned out. But yeah, I mean, they can go on their head well high. They've come to this tournament and enjoyed every single minute of it, haven't they? And it's and you see, I can't remember the defender's name, or was it the wing back? That scored that second goal, and he sort of ran straight into the crowd, didn't he, trying to find his girlfriend and his family, and you just see how much it means to them, and that's memories that they're going to have.
He might have a lot more girlfriends now to pick from.
yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, they've been the story of the World Cup, haven't they? I think, for me.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think it puts that Spain's draw against them, I think it puts that into perspective a bit more, because I think opening game for Spain to draw
Yeah.
0-0 with Cape Verde. It looked like
Yeah.
a poor result, but actually, if you factor in how good their goalkeeper's been all tournament, how strong they are in defence,
Yeah.
it's not actually the worst result when 0-0 draw against them, to be honest.
No.
No.
No. Well, it surprised everyone at the time, didn't it? And yeah, what a story they've gone on to make in this World Cup. Well, we've got a few more before we go on to the last 16. The next one, Australia, Egypt. Now, I don't know if you saw another one on penalty shootout. The final pen was missed by 18-year-old MLS defender Lucas Harrington. Brave to put an 18-year-old on the penalties on a World Cup. I mean, I really feel for the lad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed that in Australia that they had some experienced players that well, it appears they didn't want to take a penalty.
Yeah.
Now I think if I was an Australian fan and I see that happening, I wouldn't be too pleased that okay, fair, the 18-year-old that stepped up, fair play to him, he must have felt that he was capable of it, and kudos to him for stepping up, because it's a very, very high pressure game. But I would be very disappointed that why have you not allowed some of your senior pros, why have they not stepped up and sort of gone, let me have this one. I mean, even I can't remember the centre back that took their first penalty, I forget his name.
The one.
Yeah, that's it. He's stepping up for your first penalty, and you've got strikers there that are avoiding it. And it was very odd, and obviously they made that substitution, didn't they? The goalkeeper substitution, clearly.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. That's right.
And he didn't save any, did he?
At least he got an appearance in the World Cup, I suppose.
Yeah, but it does make you wonder that. I mean, it's one of those unknown, isn't it? That, I mean, if he comes on and saves 2 penalties, it's an absolute genius bit of management, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, but I think you've got a goalkeeper that's played really well all game. His confidence will be high. You think let him, but look, it was quite an entertaining game. I thought Egypt, I think at times sort of slowed down a little bit and then got back into it. But yeah, it's just disappointing really from Australia really that the penalty takers that they had really.
Yeah, commiserations to Justin on that one. But one game that wasn't exciting was Switzerland-Algeria. Switzerland advanced 2-0 in the end. And then we got 2 more to cover. Colombia are through 1-0 against Ghana. Now, I think they're quite solid defensively, Colombia, but they don't score too many goals. Decent goal from John Arias from Luis Diaz cross, so they're through. And then the last one we're going to talk about is England 2, Congo 1. I mean, oh my God. I feared it was going to be one of those games where we just kept trying to score and it just weren't going to come. But thank God for Harry Kane. What would we do without him?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I never like to say that a team got lucky because I don't really believe in luck too much. But I think we got away with one, let's say, because I don't think for a lot of that game we were... I mean, it's difficult because obviously we had a lot of the ball, but I think they had more threatening chances throughout until their winger came off and Spence came off. I think that was the kind of tipping point for us because down that left-hand side, we were just getting absolutely hammered. I mean, Spence was just not at all up to it, I didn't think. I thought Rashford was poor. Yeah. I thought Madueke, whilst he did at least attack him a bit, his
he couldn't control the ball.
Crossing and everything was just so off. And I mean, there's quite a few times where they couldn't even put a pass together. It was going out for a throw, or it was going past them and overhitting it or underhitting it. It was just all over the place. I mean, for me, that's the worst I've seen England play in a long, long time. That first half was horrendous.
Yeah. Charlie?
I mean, I will disagree to a degree in terms of I think we were lucky. I don't think we were lucky. I think ultimately our what's the word?
We were persistent, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Jed Spence is not England's best right back.
Totally agree.
Like,
I don't
Trent
think
would
he's
be at home
our
thinking,
best fifth
what
choice.
the hell do I need to do to have got there? There's obviously some reason why, that he's not there. But I'm sorry, Jed Spence is not, he shouldn't, no. Madueke as well for me.
Yeah,
He gets himself
agree.
into some really good positions, and you think, take him on. And he might do a couple of times, but then it's foot back and it's the easy pass back and stuff. And I think you see it with Tuchel that he's demanding them forward, attack. And I think for me, the difference is, when we're playing these teams that set up with a real low block, we find them extremely hard to break down.
Yeah.
And I think we need to look playing Jude as sort of the 10 and having Rice and
Anderson.
I think we don't need two holding midfielders in that position. When you've got a team with a low, you need someone to try and break forward. And I think it worked when the likes of Watkins comes on or Rogers comes on, and it gives, even put someone else up along with Kane, and Ivan Toney, for example, give him another bit of pressure.
Yeah, he's been picked and not been used at all.
Mix it up a bit, but we're sitting there with two holding midfielders, and I think, we talk about these water breaks and how ridiculous they are, but I think actually they probably benefited us in that game.
I agree.
Particularly in the first half, I think that first opening 15, 20, we like Finns.
We were awful.
Together. And then we had a bit of pressure, after that, and then going into the second half, I think the second water break, and then those subs came on. Gordon came on, didn't he? And I think that really changed the game. Saka obviously then comes on, and they were both sort of involved in the goals, weren't they? And Kane, I think, especially his second goal, was such a well taken.
He's phenomenal.
Goal, absolutely.
Well, I just don't know what we do without him, to be honest.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier on about key players stepping up and performing, and it's so good to see that Kane, the previous couple Euros, he didn't have the best campaign, but this time round, he's finding the back of the net and he looks hungry for it. So
he's joining the rest of the Messi and co, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that little sort of competition amongst themselves is driving each other. So long may it continue with him banging the goals in. But you'd like to see a bit of a rounded performance, not so edgy and nervous.
Well, I agree. I think our best player so far has been Mr. Hydration Break. Hopefully we can rely on him a bit more. We'll come back to England, but we're going to look at the last 16. So, as we said, Canada and Morocco are playing at the moment. They face the winners of Paraguay and France. That's playing tonight. I think this is going to probably be the end of the road for Canada, if I'm right. But you never know with football. Could go to penalties and anything could happen, couldn't it? And as you said, Finn, Paraguay, they have done well. They started badly against USA. They just looked like a really awful team that were making up the numbers. But somehow they got themselves through the group stages and then go and knock out Germany. But yeah, I can't see them doing anything against France. And my prediction would be Morocco-France for that next quarter-final.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't really see any upset there. Paraguay, whilst it was a great result, obviously, against Germany, I'm still not convinced they're a great side. I think it was just a kind of moment of magic game. I don't see them going and beating France. If they do, then fair enough. But I don't personally see them doing it.
It would be the biggest shock so far, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and no offence to Paraguay, but I don't really think they're amazing on pens either. I know I said earlier they did miss quite a few. I just think Germany were really just that bit poorer.
Even worse, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest. I don't see them doing any sort of shock against France, and I don't see Canada beating Morocco either. I think France-Morocco next.
No. Well, on Monday, Portugal plays Spain. Now, to me, I don't think things are all that well in the Portugal camp. I know João Neves of PSG has come out and spoken a lot about the squad, and there were rumours that he had been threatened to be sent home as a result of it. I don't think he's too happy about Ronaldo starting regularly. I don't know if you saw Ronaldo's reaction when he was subbed. Clearly very unhappy, and for me, it's like, well, this is not all about you, mate. It's, get behind your teammates that are there in the squad.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think they're a lot better team without him. I know he's picked up the odd goal and a penalty and that, but
I mean,
Charlie, I don't know.
It's going to take for a brave manager to drop him or not start him, isn't it? But like you say, he's 40 now, isn't he? And don't get me wrong, he's in incredible shape, but he's probably not as sharp as he used to be and stuff. And it's like you say, it seems that all the time he's in the squad or the team's built around him.
Yeah.
And if he's not firing, they come, a bit unstuck. And the sulking a bit. It's like, yes, don't get me wrong, you're one of the best players in the world, but you don't want it to sort of end on him ending his international career sulking.
No.
Ultimately, you want your team to succeed. You want your country to succeed, and he's got to understand that actually maybe I'm at a point in my career now where, I can't start every game or finish every game. But yeah, it's who's that manager going to be that's going to make that decision.
Maybe he'll go out and do a Zidane in his last game. Who knows?
Yeah.
But do you know what? I think they're doing an injustice because they got such a good squad of players, actually. And I think Portugal could be a really good side.
Yeah.
They could be a real threat if they were actually not picking him, maybe playing him as sub. But, yeah, it seems to be that he's making the demands and they're all going around whatever he says.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finn, what have you made of it?
I think, personally, I'm kind of in the camp of if you have a player like Ronaldo in your team, I think he has to start every game, personally. But I don't think that they should be so reliant on him in the sense that everything has to go through him. I think they need to just use they've got other players in there who are quality players. I mean, Leao on the wing is a quality player.
Yeah.
Their midfield is superb. They need to, I feel like their tactic is basically, where's Ronaldo? Let's get it to him. I feel like they need to just play as a team and just use him as the kind of man in the middle who's going to score the goals. They don't need to put everything through him. He's like, was it like 40? 41?
Yeah, totally agree.
Like, he does not need to be the core of everything anymore. So I would start him every game because I think he still has that bit of quality and he can still get those goals. And I think if you have a player like Ronaldo, you'd be stupid not to start him every game. But they just need to stop making him the core of that team and start picking out the other players in the team as well. Yeah.
Well, as I said, they've got Spain, they've had a very steady start. Started obviously 0-0 with Cape Verde, then got 4-0 win against Saudi Arabia and 1-0 against Uruguay. Smashed Austria 3-0. And as I said, Lamine Yamal, he seems to be getting better with every game. And I agree with what you said, Charlie. I don't think it's going to be long before he's on the score sheet. The winners of Spain and Portugal, they will face the winners of Tuesday's match, which is between USA and Belgium. And as we mentioned, with no Balogun, I think it's going to be a tall order for them. I do think Belgium may advance to that. Are we then looking at a Spain-Belgium quarter-final, or do you think Portugal could sneak it?
I mean, I personally, between Spain and Portugal, I think I can't see anything but a Spain win on that. Yeah. Personally, for me, I think the closer game is I think it is the USA-Belgium game, because I think like Finn touched on a little bit earlier, they're an aging side, Belgium. Don't get me wrong, they've got still some world-class players, but they're all at the latter end of their careers. They've had that golden sort of age and. They'll probably be a little bit disappointed that they didn't really capitalise on that period. And the States, they are, don't get me wrong, they're without now, a crucial player, but they'll have the home advantage, crowd, which will count or something.
And a good coach, in Pochettino.
Yeah, exactly. He's a well-established coach. Do you know what I mean? He knows his stuff. So, for me, I think that'll be a real interesting game, and it wouldn't surprise me if the States do nick a win there.
Well, we'll watch that one with interest. Tuesday, Argentina will play Egypt. Messi versus Salah. Now, Argentina have won 4 from 4 at this World Cup. Messi's been on fire. For me, they're one of the top 3 favourites. Spain, France and Argentina. I said that at the beginning, and I'm not changing my mind. I think they look very good. I can only see Argentina winning that one. Finn, do you agree? Or are you going Egypt?
Nah. I've got to go Argentina. I mean, weirdly, I'm just thinking about Portugal because you said there about who your favourites before the World Cup, and Portugal for some reason were my favourites. But I think that's because I didn't expect them to just literally focus everything on Ronaldo. I think if they actually properly use their squad, they probably have a squad that could go far.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean Argentina. There's not really anything I can say about that. I don't see Egypt putting any surprises unless Salah has an amazing game, which is possible, but I don't think they're going to cause an upset.
Well, they will play the winners of Switzerland and Colombia. Now, as I said, Colombia, they look really strong. They won the group, which contained Portugal, Congo and Panama. Got a narrow win versus Ghana. I think Colombia are quite a dangerous little side, actually. We could be looking at a South American quarter-final of Argentina-Colombia there. Charlie?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of Colombia's game, so I couldn't pretend that I know too much about them and stuff. But obviously with Argentina, I've paid quite a bit of attention to them and Messi. I mean, he could have easily got a hat-trick yesterday, if it weren't for a couple of good saves. So, yeah, Switzerland, again, Switzerland, they've got some key players there within their squad, and that, again, it will be a very close game between the two of them. It's ultimately, Colombia defensively are probably a little bit stronger. But yeah, potentially, like you say, we could be seeing a Argentina-Colombia quarter-final. But, I mean, for me, I'm just looking now. I can't see any Argentina. For me, will be going all the way through to the final. I think they'll take some beating. They really will.
Well, Sunday evening, we've got Brazil versus Norway. So, Vinicius Junior versus Haaland. Brazil have looked half decent going forward. As you said, not the best Brazil we've seen. Norway have always got a goal in them with Haaland. For me, they're a bit vulnerable at the back. So this game actually, I think, could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. Again, like you say, going forward, Norway, got a real presence with Haaland, who's in amongst the goals, and he's always going to be in around a goal. It's just who's going to be up for it the most, and perform on the day. But yeah, it could either be a really low scoring goal, it could be a really high scoring game. It's going to be one or the other, I think.
Who's your money on, Norway or Brazil? We'll start with you, Charlie.
You know what? I think I'll probably edge it with Norway. Brazil for me, I don't know what it is. I just don't feel that they're at their best, and like I said before, I just feel like they're beatable, and the Norwegians seem to be having a great time of it over there. And yeah, for me, I just think Norway, they'll be a much bigger, stronger team, and I think that will really I think Brazil may struggle with that physicality. So I'm gonna go with Norway.
Finn, are you going with Norway, or are you going to disagree?
No, it sounds ridiculous. I still go Norway over Brazil, but I think this tournament, I don't think they're a great match for Brazil. Charlie touched on it, but the physicality that they have, I mean, I said it at the start as well. I think having a player like Haaland is just having a player who can get goals whenever he wants, wherever he wants, is massive. I think in these sort of tournaments, it's just you need that kind of little edge, and I'm not entirely sure Brazil have that little edge this tournament, to be honest. I mean, argue Vinicius Junior, but as for a proper kind of goal scorer who's going to get those goals, I'm not sure they have someone quite on Haaland's level, to be honest. I'd go Norway as well.
Well, Norway for you boys. I'm going to go Brazil. I just fancy Vinicius Junior to turn up. We'll see. That'll be an interesting one. Now, the winners of those will be playing the winners of England versus Mexico. Mexico are a dangerous team, particularly at the Azteca. I just think we look. I just think we look a bit vulnerable at the back, and Mexico. I don't know if you've seen much of them, but they whip balls into the box. Raul Jimenez is such a threat, and I see us struggling against that. And we've got to keep the likes of Gilberto Mora off the ball, keep it off the wings. I think Jed Spence, we've mentioned, is a bit of a. We've just report there has been a goal. Morocco have just taken the lead against Canada, so we're right on track with that one. We said Morocco, so yeah, Morocco win at the moment. But yeah, going back to England, I just think Mexico, I see them as a big threat to us. I really do. Charlie?
Gotta be confident, Phil.
I'm just not, mate. I've been around a lot longer than you guys.
You can't be going into these World Cups a bit unsure. Results, performance. Yeah, look, performances haven't been the best.
You've not lived enough competitions yet.
Not to put South End long enough, all right? I think, England's performances haven't been the best, but we found a way of winning. And I think that's really crucial, especially in tournament football. You need a little bit of luck. You need things to go your way. And I just think that we've got that extra little bit of quality that when it does matter and when we need to turn the screw a little bit more, we've got a little bit more. Now, the key thing in all the talk is obviously the altitude and how we will deal with that. I mean, you've got a potential storm to chuck on top of that as well, if that arrives and stuff. So there's a lot of other things aside from the football to take into account. I think Mexico's record at the Azteca is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Albeit you look at some of the teams they played there, it's has it been the most challenging games for them? Probably not. Although they have had a couple of good results there, but tournament football is completely different. It's a one-off knockout game. Now, look, Mexico are going to be there in their numbers, but as are England. There's plenty of English that have travelled over to be part of it, and I just think, for me, I want Tuchel to look at going out. Like I said to you before, I want to see maybe Jude paired. I don't, having a Rice and an Anderson together. I want to sort of look at moving away from that. Now, Rice looks like he may have picked up a bit of a problem. Is it hamstring or calf? He's saying he's not 100%. And I'd look at Jed Spence and Madueke. I think now is the time. If Saka's capable of coming on for us, I'll give him a start now. And really take it to them, because we don't want to be getting ourselves into 70th minute 1-0 down, because that's when it gets really nervy, and that's when we will really feel the pressure. But no, I think we'll go into it. I'm confident. I am.
Love your optimism, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean,
one thing I will say, I think he's picked a squad for a counter-attacking. That's obvious. We don't have those players that can unlock the door. Kane's had to make the goals for himself. One thing that might benefit us for this game is, like I said, we just struggle against teams that sit deep and put a low block in. But Mexico won't do that. They'll come out and play football. Exactly. They'll attack us. So it might be a bit more of an open game. It might actually suit us a little bit more.
And I think we saw that with Croatia in the opening game, didn't we? I mean, the first half wasn't brilliant, but the second half was fantastic. And, against a team that's coming at us as well is when we look really strong. It's just, I mean, we've been blessed over the years with solid defence, haven't we? That was the one thing that England were really sort of built on, was that solid back four. You knew exactly who that was. Defence now for us is a real concern, isn't it? And we, that's where you think if we need to really shore up, and it's there's still sort of uncertainty who your back two are. Is it Konza? Is it Gay? Stones? There's still that sort of uncertainty as to who our best back four are. So I touched on, I don't think Jed Spence's our best right back. He's just frustrating.
Well, the problem we've got now is Reece James is injured, isn't he? And it does.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's going to be a big questions from people after this World Cup if we go out to Mexico with the selection of Jed Spence, instead of Trent. I mean, there are other good right backs. And I don't get, with Livramento out, he picked Trevor Chalobah, which now is looking like a really suspect decision.
Yeah, we talk about trying to unlock teams in a low block, and you've got the likes of Cole Palmer sitting at home. Do you know what I mean? These players that can make a difference. Look, time will tell. If we sit here in the next couple of weeks lifting the World Cup, we'll go, genius, amazing.
Yeah.
But at the time,
Trevor Chalobah, what a winner!
Yeah. At the moment you're sitting here now, you are scratching your head a bit and thinking, and maybe it's typical England, isn't it? Like before, we're like, you choose players based on their, not by their name or whatever. They're choosing by their form, and maybe he's gone on that this time round. But was Trent's form worse than Jed Spence? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Kwanzaa is really digging out Jed Spence, and it's not. But
Kwanzaa's not the answer either for me. I just think he hasn't picked enough depth at right back.
I mean, I would have had Bolton Maguire as well. I thought he had a great end to the season at United, and just for that experience as well in and around. But
I think
Finn, what would your back four be to stop those crosses coming into the box to Raul Jimenez? Because he's such a threat in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't start Jed Spencer right back. To be honest, my right back, it may sound ridiculous, but I'd probably try John Stones, to be honest, which sounds mental, but I think he is a versatile enough player where he's played defensive midfield, he's played left back. I think he might have even played right back before, and he's an experienced player who I think would probably be up to it. I mean, Rice had a little stint at right back. I mean, we're scraping the barrel now.
There's limitations, definitely.
Players, but I mean, it's difficult because maybe Konza, but I'm not entirely sure about that either. Yeah. It's a really difficult one, to be honest. But I mean, to bring some positivity, I actually think that the Mexico game is.
And he's gone on that note. It's Messi. So it's an England win for Finn. Well, will you be staying up to watch it, Charlie? 1 a.m, isn't it?
So I'm working. So I'm in the middle of like a 9-day
stretch
of work. So I will. My plan is to go to bed early, set my alarm, get up, watch the game, try and get another couple of hours kick, go to work. When they said it was going to be a 7 o'clock kick, I was like, yes, result. I think a lot of people were, but no, I will get up for it. But yeah, I'll probably have to set an alarm. And
Finn, will you be watching it?
I think that's what Mexico are going to have as well. And I think hopefully we've learnt a few lessons off of that. I also think if we get through the first 30 minutes with Mexico, that's going to be the real test for us. If we can survive the first 30 and they run out their steam, I think we'll be all right. If we find ourselves 1 or 2 down in the first 30, I think it's going to be really, really tough to come back with the altitude. To be honest, I would actually quite like to see us just have a slow first 30, just kind of keep the ball, don't let them into the game too much, and just kind of try and tire them out and then go for it.
I just want to get your opinions. I don't know if you've seen this on the news or doing the rounds on social media, but one way for England, they're talking about combating this altitude, is that they've been permitted to, and this is no joke, take Viagra. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Now, obviously, Viagra isn't a banned.
Oh my life!
So, I mean, we're going to have a load of players with lob-ons.
It's a very interesting penalty shootout, shouldn't it?
It's going to be. I can't wait for it personally.
Positive of that, I guess.
I can't wait to see an Ivan Toney come on.
Ivan Toney.
At least
Blimey, you won't.
But this will be an offside. It'll be interesting, There's an offside. Hang on, it's not his foot. It's not a hand.
Offside, yeah. I've not seen that. I must say that is
Yeah, so that's
remarkable.
genuine. That is genuine. So apparently it helps with the blood pressure and circulation, and it
Yeah.
will help with altitude. Apparently it helps with altitude. Genuinely. So
Well, it might get me excited about the game, that's for sure.
but yeah, so
This
it'll be
World Cup,
interesting.
honestly, is crazy.
Yeah.
I've not heard. I don't know who's come up with that, but yeah, that's
there'll be
quite
some doctor
remarkable.
that's I mean, you're in the medical profession. Maybe you can find it out, Phil.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It really, really is. Yeah, it could make VAR offside decisions interesting. That's for sure.
I just want someone for a disallowed goal for having an erection. I've said it.
What about when we're defending a free kick? It's like, no, the line's there. You need to go back a bit more.
Back a bit more.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it could get them excited for the game.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's an interesting one. It really is. Finn, have you heard that?
I have, yeah, actually. There's so many jokes to be made there.
Brilliant. It's got to be the Scots on the wind-up, surely.
Yeah.
We're saying about getting Dan Burn because he's like the highest player. He's probably the most, used to, what do you call it? High positions and stuff, altitude and that. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there's pressing high and there's pressing high, isn't there?
If it works, I don't really care. If it works, then
If it works,
Exactly.
if it works, the whole country's going to be.
I can't wait to see the team photo at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not sure I want to be honest, Charlie.
yeah, you sound a bit excited. Not sure about that.
He might be regretting his decision to call up Trevor Chalabar now, might he? Yeah. Wow. It certainly is a World Cup story, bigger than Cape Verde, perhaps. There you go. So your predictions are: I'm going Brazil. I think England will sneak through on penalties, so we'll have a Brazil-England quarter-final. What are you guys going with?
I'm gonna
Well, obviously,
go.
I said that it would be Belgium. Didn't it? Is it Belgium? Norway, sorry. So I will go in England, Norway. Quarter.
Yeah. That's what I'd go with.
I mean, I think as well. I think we don't want it to get to penalties and stuff in this time. This late stages of
I've seen too many of them.
It's a quick turnaround now with games, isn't it? And especially if we're playing at high altitude, it is going to take it out of players. You don't want to then be playing an extra half hour on top of that, win, and then you've got a game in a couple of days' time to try and adjust again and get your fitness back. So I think it's crucial we get this done and dusted within 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Now if we're 1-0 down in 8-9 minutes, we get a equaliser to get through, then so be it. But I think. I think we'll be on the front foot against Mexico. I really do. I think they'll be wary that we do not want them taking the lead, because as soon as that'll happen, I think they'll make it very, very tough for us.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll see. As I said, I'm not going to be watching it. I will get up, see if we've won. If we've won on penalties, won an extra time. If anyone's been sent off for having a lob on, or who knows what's going to happen with this game. Anything could happen in this game, couldn't it? It really could. But yeah, we'll see. Charlie, we've been running. I mean, what have you been brought to this podcast tonight? Seriously.
I just want a VAR picture when they draw the line.
You can see it, haven't you, can't you? Oh, could you imagine? That will be a story forever, wouldn't it? It really would.
Yeah.
Well, we've been running a poll on the show for our
Yes,
new logo across our socials. Charlie, tell us the results. What's happened with that?
Right. Okay. So, those of you that are listening to this on Spotify, it'll probably be a little bit hard if you're not already aware of what the logos were. But we've put a poll out across all our social medias: TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. There's 3. So basically, what we're trying to do is just having a bit of a rebrand of the channel, freshen it up a little bit. We've been going a year now. We want to sort of just give it a little bit of a freshen up. And so we've sort of drafted together 3 new logos, if you like, for the channel. And we put them all out on the poll for you guys to vote for. So on TikTok, and maybe I'll get Phil, you can maybe insert the pictures of them, obviously, as I'm going through here, if you're watching on YouTube. So on TikTok, out of all the votes, 100% of the votes went towards the third logo. On Instagram, it's a little bit closer actually. So the first and second image, there was they shared 22% of the votes each. But again, the third logo picked up 56%, so just half of the votes went to the third picture as well. And then on YouTube, it was the second image with 46% that got the most amount of votes. The third image come in at 38%. So with the help of ChatGPT, we've chucked all the numbers in, and we've calculated that the new logo that we'll be using going forward be our third logo, which takes up overall around about 64% of the votes. So I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who took part in that. Say this channel's, it's for you guys as well. We want you to feel that you've got some sort of connection, involvement in it as the way the channel sort of runs and looks. So yeah, we've got a new logo that will, ahead of the new season, we'll freshen it all up a little bit, and yeah, we'll get that all uploaded and that. So again, a massive thank you to everyone who took part in those votes and polls.
Indeed. Right, we're going to finish off with our top 5, if you can find 5, Charlie. Top 5 England World Cup moments. Mine mostly involve penalties because that's where England have had the most drama in my lifetime. But do you want to kick off with yours, Charlie?
Yeah, right, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to struggle finding 5. Because, like I said to you earlier, I can barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone every 4 years that have gone by.
You sound like a World Cup striker.
And you know what? I was thinking, oh yeah, that moment. I look back, oh no, that was the Euros. Oh no, that was the Euros. No, that was the Euros. So trying to think of something.
You've had more joy in the Euros, to be fair.
So I'm just trying to get what I've got up here. So I mean, your top 5 England World Cup moments, and some of them I was around for, some I'm not around for. But I mean, ultimately, winning the World Cup, that's going to be the top of, it's the once and only time we've won it. Touch wood, it might be the second time this year, but you can't look beyond that as the number one for me personally. And then also with that came the Gordon Banks. I think we said it before. The save, and then the famous "they think it's all over, it is now" commentary. So there are a couple of moments. Then it was I think it was France 98. It was England versus Argentina. But this was when we had a very young Michael Owen sort of bursting onto the scene. I think I mentioned it before in the group stage. I think it might... No, not group stages. The qualification stage. I think we beat Germany 5-1.
Yeah,
Michael Owen,
unbelievable.
And then in the... I can't remember if it's the quarterfinals... against Argentina in France 98, he scored a great individual goal there, and was it in the round of 16? I think it may have been. I mean, ultimately we went on to lose that, but it'll go down as one of England's greatest goals in World Cups. Then the other thing was reaching the semi-final in 2018. It was, I think, Harry Kane. Did he get? I'm trying to think if he got the golden boot that year. I can't remember. I think he got around about 6 goals. But I think what was crucial in that was that we beat... I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember who it is that we beat, but I think we beat them on penalties, and I think it was the first time we won a penalty shootout in... who was it, against Colombia, maybe?
Colombia,
I can't remember. It was Colombia, yeah. The first penalty shoot, we've touched on earlier before, that notoriously we've been disastrous, quite frankly, at penalty shootouts in major tournaments. So that 2018 semi-final, reaching the semi-final in 2018, winning on penalties, it was a real pivotal moment, going forward now, because I think since then in some penalty shootouts we've been quite successful. So that's my main kind of moments, if you like.
Well, we've had some good moments. I'm going to start Mine, 1990, England 3, Cameroon 2. Now, this was a unbelievable game. Another one, bit like the Congo, where we struggle against an African team. Cameroon ended up going ahead 2-1, and we were really struggling to get that goal until Gary Lineker broke through, keeper took him down, and Lineker basically hit 2 penalties to put us through 3-2. But the nerves that must have been on Lineker, you could see the tension in him. So to have that composure to step up and do it twice was unbelievable. So, yeah, that was the first one. The second memory for me, you've mentioned it, Michael Owen against Argentina, 1998. He was a young lad. I mean, it was the same game that Beckham was sent off, actually.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
With Simeone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was an unbelievable finish from Michael Owen. Absolutely brilliant. You know, fearless young 18-year-old running at Argentina, and it was an unbelievable finish. Yeah, so for me, that one. Now, I don't know if you'll remember this one, but this was actually a qualifier. It wasn't England-Germany, but that was one of my favourite moments. I do remember that night in Munich, 5-1.
Yeah.
Michael Owen hat-trick, absolutely brilliant. Even Emeleski scored that night.
Yeah.
And Gerrard, I remember, got the other one. Germany went ahead, actually, didn't they? Carsten Janka. But we come back, brilliant. But it wasn't one of my top 5. But it was another qualifier. That was in 2001. Now, England were playing Greece, Old Trafford. And it was another one of those games where Greece somehow, they weren't a great team, but they somehow got themselves in the league 2-1. And we just could not score against them. They put a low block. We tried everything to score. We couldn't. It was going literally to the death. And England had to get a point to qualify for the World Cup. Yeah. And I recall we got a free kick right near the death. I think it was in injury time, about 35 yards out. It was an impossible distance to score from. But Beckham stood up, scored an absolute weldy. I will never, probably one of the best free kicks I've ever seen. Yeah. Unbelievable goal.
Yeah.
To go 2-2 to put us into the World Cup. Incredible. Again, 2002, it involved Beckham again. Now, I mentioned 98, Beckham got sent off with Simeone, so there was a lot of attention on him. And actually, Beckham, he had a lot of abuse from that, from, you know, England fans. And do you remember the effigy they hung up and burnt him? Beckham that season was unreal. He got so much abuse coming on the back of that World Cup. Every time I remember the first season back, every time he touched the ball, he got booed. And this went on for months by opposition fans in the Premier League. So in 2002, we play Argentina, and you got to have, we're talking about Viagra, but you got to have some big balls to stand up and take a penalty after that. And I'll never forget, Wallop, back of the net. So that was brilliant for Beckham. That was 2002. And the last one, again, you've mentioned it, Charlie, 2018 against Colombia. Now, I do remember a lot of miserable penalty shootouts for England, missing so many in World Cups and the Euros. But yeah, 2018, we get Colombia, and I remember Eric Dyer scores the winner. And it was great for Southgate as well, actually, for him being the manager and being, you know, the player that missed in the Euros against Germany. So for him, I don't know if you've seen the documentary with him. Really good. It's out on the moment. It's a 4-part. Joseph Fiennes plays Southgate, and he's brilliant. Brilliant actor. Really plays him well. But you could just kind of sense how difficult it was for Southgate being there at that moment, and the relief, the tension when Dyer put it in the back of the net. So, yeah, some great moments for England. Yeah. Down the years, lots of miserable moments, but a few good moments.
I mean, there was another personal that was against Croatia, the last World Cup at Qatar, where in the semi-final that I know we went on to lose it, but we had that Kieran Trippier free kick.
Yeah.
1-0, and I was in a pub
early on, wasn't it?
I was absolutely soaked in beer, like the euphoria of when that went in. You know, for a lot of people, you know, for generations really, that's the first semi-final. You know, and there's a real sense that we could actually go on to get into this final and win it. And when you went 1-0 up, the elation, it was incredible.
It was very Beckham-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was
cracking goal.
He's got a great free kick on him anyway. And yeah, that moment again was something I'll always remember. I mean, the result didn't go our way, but for that period of time where we was leading and stuff, and that joy that came with it was incredible.
Well, I was going to say let's hope for another semi. But maybe we'll get a few.
Might get
against
11
Mexico. We're going to finish off with trivia, Charlie. I know you love the old trivia.
Oh, here we go.
Right, here's one for you. Can you name
No.
the 3 England players that have been sent off for England in the World Cup?
Right. So David Beckham.
Yeah, we got one against Argentina '98.
Gaza. Was Gaza one? Did he get
No.
sent?
No, he got booked, didn't he? Which put him out of the final.
Oh, that was a booking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
He cried like he was sent off. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's
and it wasn't
right.
Gaza.
Oh my gosh. Who else has been sent? Wayne, did Rooney get sent off?
Yes, he did.
He did. Rooney did,
Yeah,
didn't he?
the wink. Remember the wink from Ronaldo?
That's it.
2006.
He was quite young then, wasn't he? And they're both at
Yeah.
United, weren't they, at the time?
That's right.
That's right.
You may not know the last one. Maybe a bit before your
A
time.
few years back then.
It's 1986
Oh, you'll have gone. You'll have to
against Morocco.
go on.
It was Ray Wilkins.
Oh, I would never have.
That was the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
legend of a player.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, three.
Two out of 3. I'll take that.
They're the 3. That's not bad. So Wilkins, Beckham, and Rooney. Right. Well, that is the end of the podcast. We will be back at the end of next week. Hopefully this time we'll have a World Cup striker with us. If
Full
we
time lucky or whatever it is now.
bit like our penalty shootouts, isn't it? Yeah. So hopefully he will be on. I'm going to set you a new task, Charlie. You've got to pick your all-time 11 England Viagra team. All right, so I'm already up front. Got Ivan Boney to start with.
Oh my gosh, you really have been already.
Let's see what you can come up with over the week.
Okay.
And
deal.
we'll put it in socials. Actually, have a bit of fun with this. So, yeah, it's going to be
Oh,
quite
it's a
funny.
shame
to
there's
see
a
what
one
people
player
come
that
up
we
with.
could have. Brilliant. Okay.
So yeah, Ivan Boney. I just need another 10 players to go with him for the all-time England Viagra team.
Okay.
Right, we'll be back next week, hopefully ahead of a quarter-final against Brazil or Norway. Yeah,
Yep.
we will see.
Fantastic.
Up the 3 Lions and up the Shrimpers.
Come on.